The spider cases you're better not to see alone. The fear of spiders is one of the most common phobias, and how to keep calm when arthropods can wait in the most unexpected places, from the binding of a notebook to a car or a bed. This episode is not for the faint of heart and features incredible spider cases that are best not watched alone. Now, do your lessons. Doing homework is not the most pleasant thing to do, especially if you're still in school. I always wanted to come up with an excuse, find some reason to get you out of this time, and it looks like I found one of those cases. If the person in the video shows this to their teacher, then they definitely won't dare to stick a deuce in the magazine. You generally saw how much the giant spider was hiding somewhere among the notebook. And now I'll show you Kinder Surprise. A resident of an Australian city noticed such a strange formation in his garden. He would have gladly hidden it personally, but when he noticed that there was something inside him, such a desire instantly disappeared. And as it turned out, it was only for the best. He took Nakodka to a local park, where experts opened carefully the bag with thin tweezers. What was inside? There were dozens of small spiders. The most terrible thing, as the researchers of tiny creatures later stated, in a similar spider surprise, may end up to several hundred. The only good news is that it seems like they're just being born, which means that they're not at all dangerous to others. However, I wouldn't risk opening this on my own. Would you? Aragog, is that you? Like if you also know who Aragog is. Well, look, at people unfamiliar with the world of Harry Potter, I'll quickly explain. This is such a poisonous acromancer spider, in which Hagrid, one of the characters, raised in secret from the rest in the film. He reached the size of a small elephant, but fortunately in life he turned out to be much smaller. A woman discovered a giant spider at her home from the back of the window. According to her, such a large creature visits their property. For the first time, it was interesting that it was a poisonous spider. But who was much less fortunate is this guy from this video. In this case, the creeping creature ended up right in his house. Yes, it was a little less, but the essence of the matter, it seems to me that this did not change at all. What would you do? It seems that you have such a spider at home. Oh, what a cutie crawling over the girl in this video. You just look. He gently moved over her cheeks to her forehead and then moved on to the other side of her face. From there, he jumped onto his arm, and if you put aside the jokes, you know what the creepiness of this whole video is. The girl from the States you see on the screen met this arthropod for the first time, in case it would be poisonous, or aggressively. This is how confident you need to be. And that this creature is not dangerous, to allow him to get up like this. Horror. Vacuum. Revenge was sweet. I think that I found a continuation of that story. People made fun of the spider, did not let him calmly go about his business, and at some point he came to take revenge, climbed onto the bed, and occupied the area. The funniest thing is that few people could do anything about it. Even the grown man who filmed this video was afraid to approach the spider. It'd be interesting to see how they got rid of it later. Most likely, it was not even a surveillance camera, but simply a device combined with a call, the one through which you see who is on the other side of the door. Usually, you expect to see your best friends there, a courier with delicious food, some kind of package, but definitely not a nasty spider. That feels like it's trying to enter the house and kill you. I wouldn't even bother going out after that. Let the spider crawl away. Although judging by other videos with equally large spiders, arthropods do not always show aggression towards people or any other creatures. For example, here, on the contrary, there was a feeling that it was necessary to protect the spider and not the woman who found him. Yes, of course, the members of the camp came to her house, and we should take the side of the girl, but she got the spider so much that she no longer knows where to go, crawls aside and cuddles and wants to be finally left alone. Ride cool. Again, different insects often get into the car. Usually it can be mosquitoes or some kind of midges, especially if you're coming from a summer house or some other countryside area. However, if we were in Australia, the habit would have to be changed. The fact is that instead of the usual harmless mosquitoes, a spider can easily get into the car. A girl named Bianca Merrick rode for 20 minutes in the company of a spider. She was moving and accidentally noticed a spider. The first thought is that the motorist needed to stop, which is probably what most drivers would do. The main thing in this case is not to panic and carefully turn on the emergency gang to pull over to the side of the road, and to only run out of the car and think about how to deal with an uninvited guest. So she got to the parking lot at the house, got out of the car, and went for a broom. After that, she was fully prepared both mentally and physically for a fight with the main boss of that evening.